Welcome to a special edition of Date Night Cook. Today, we got a double date. And with me, I have a good friend of mine, Eric Willis, who is an elite powerlifter. And Eric, I believe you have quite a few records under your belt now. Do you mind sharing some of them with us?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, lad. So I am the Canadian deadlift record holder in the 120 class, the Canadian total record holder in the 120 class, the Canadian total record in the 105 junior class. I also have a number of provincial records, the 120 squat, bench, deadlift, and total collegiate records. I am currently ranked number 8 in Canada and number 4 in Ontario. I am the 2-time national powerlifting champion, the 2-time provincial powerlifting champion, and I'm representing Team Canada in July at North Americans.
Wow. All right. That was impressive. So, Eric, thank you so much for coming to the show. The recipe we're doing tonight is risotto style Capaletti.
Isn't risotto that rice thing?
It is, usually. But I do it a little differently. I cook pasta risotto style. Using pasta for your risotto allows you to try a lot of different things and make the dish look very interesting. You can use all sorts of interesting pastas like this is a Capaletti, to create a dish that looks very interesting and very unique. Another benefit, it's a lot faster. And because we're using pasta, sometimes I like to call this Boozy mac and cheese for adults.
I like that.
Now for this recipe, what we need is a pasta. It can be anything you want. We're using Capaletti. You can use elbow noodles if you wanted to. We have chopped onions. It's very easy to chop an onion. Check out this video here to see how this was done. Some shredded cheese. This can be any cheese you want. I've done this with mozzarella, cheddar, hell, I've done it with goat cheese. Today, we're using Gouda. And for this risotto, we're gonna use some crab meat. This was already bought, pre-cooked, and in this case, it works just fine because all the flavors that we have mixing in here, trust me, your date will never even notice that this was already pre-cooked for you. You will want a few cloves of garlic and some chives for garnish to make it look pretty. And of course, what makes this Boozy mac and cheese is we're going to use white wine. Today, Riesling. Also, key ingredient in many risottos is stock. In this case, it's Date Night Cook. We're not going to make stock. We're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to use some bouillon. So we use a couple of these, the bouillon cubes that you can buy in the store. And this is the fish one. And we're going to just get it in nice hot water, get it dissolved, and that's what's going to help us cook this. Now, Eric, I have a golden rule with cooking in this kitchen. When you cook with alcohol, if it's not good enough to drink, it's not good enough to cook with. On that note,
Thank you.
Cheers. The key to this recipe, risotto, a lot of people think it's hard. It's not. It's actually really easy. The main thing you need to do is you need to make sure that all of your ingredients are laid out and prepared in front of you before you start cooking. This way, once your time actually comes to start adding them in, they're ready to go and everything's cooked perfectly. A couple of things we need to prepare before we can get started. We need to mince the garlic. You can buy this already peeled. If it's not, it's really easy to handle. All you want to do is you want to put it on your cutting board, take a nice big knife, put it under, give it a hit, and just take the skin right off. Just like so. Or, if you're Eric, thank you, Eric.
Whoops.
Once you have the peel off your garlic, it's easy. It's already been crushed. So all you want to do is just give it a slice in half. Bunch of pieces together. And just give it a quick chop, like so. Once you have this, you can just pick this up and put it with your onions. Now that you have all of your ingredients laid out in front of you, we're ready to start cooking. Grab your large frying pan, turn the heat to medium high. And when I say medium high, I mean right about there. Once the heat is on, get your oil in a pan. You want a good generous layer to cover the bottom. Once the oil's nice and hot, we're gonna put the onions and the garlic in. Eric, go ahead. Thank you. And we're just gonna give it a couple of minutes. Let it start simmering. Let it come to temperature. You want the onions to start getting a little softer and a little more translucent. In the meantime, just step back and have another drink.
Oh.
Cheers. That thing's like a shot glass in your hands, man. You want more?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Once you have your onions and garlic to this stage here, they're beginning to get a little softer, they're beginning to get a little more translucent, and you got a bit of a simmer going. We can go ahead and add the pasta. Eric? Put it right in there. Part of the trick of cooking risotto is at this stage, you want to throw the pasta around and you want to get a nice good coating of oil all around on your pasta. Because oil is fat and fat is flavor. Once you got a nice even layer of oil on the pasta, my favorite ingredient, wine. And you want anywhere between half a cup to half a bottle. Your choice. I've had nights where I ran out of the broth and this was more wine than anything else. And it still works. It's
the way it should be.
Thank you. And it's still delicious. And what you want to do is you want to keep moving this around. The trick to risotto, and the reason people think risotto is hard, is that you actually kind of have to stand over and you have to move things around, which is part of the reason really I got you here, because you're going to be helping me with that in a minute.
Oh. Thanks, Vlad.
But really, this is not that hard. This is pasta, and you're just moving it around, some hot liquid, letting it evaporate, adding a little more as you go. And the really neat thing about this recipe, it doesn't even need to be wine. It can be beer if you wanted to. I've done this with vermouth in the past. You can also use red wine. It doesn't need to be white. Once you have your wine thickening a little bit like this, you get your broth, and you want to add just a little bit at a time. About a ladle and a half full, and you keep stirring. The thing you want to do here, okay, you want to go around the outside, make sure it's not sticking to the outside, and then stir the inside around a bit, and then repeat. Around the outside, stir the inside. And that's all it is.
Yeah, just keep stirring.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I'm left-handed. I'm so misfortunate.
Just keep stirring. Here's the neat thing about this recipe. Once you get towards the end and the pasta starts getting nice and soft, you can actually start trying. See if you need more salt, more pepper, anything like that. Be very careful though, it is hot. Definitely needs more salt. Pepper, stir it in. We're not adding the crab meat until the very end because it's already been cooked. You don't want to over dry it. We just want to add it at the very end just to warm it up. It'll be great. Same with the cheese. We don't want to overcook it. We don't want to burn it to the bottom. It's just there for the end, just to give it a little bit of texture and a little bit of extra flavor. I know.
Yeah, not bad for like 3 ingredients.
Exactly, right? So, and that's the really cool thing about this recipe. Once you start trying it, it's still cooking, it's still there. You have all these chances to be creative. You can add garlic powder. You like hot food, add a little bit of hot sauce. Things like that. This recipe will really take to anything you want to throw in there. Today we are keeping it simple. Well, the neat thing about this one is it actually keeps cooking because of how thick the sauce gets. It actually keeps cooking when you take it off.
Yeah.
It actually keeps going still. Like, whereas the pasta, you pull it out, it's out of the hot. So a little bit of heat is there is gonna keep cooking it, but for the most part it's done. This stays in its own sauce the whole time, so even off the heat it still cooks.
Yeah, for sure.
Once you see this, the sauce is beginning to thicken, and as you keep trying the pasta, it seems to be almost done. This is where it's time for us to add the other ingredients. Eric, please, the crab. Put it right in there. Thank you. And the cheese.
My favorite.
Thank you, sir. I'm just gonna stir it right in.
My job is the easiest job.
Well, some would argue I don't have to lift however many freaking pounds.
I don't have to. I choose to.
Alright. So at this point, when you have this, the sauce is nice and thick, everything's mixed in, you're done. Turn off your heat. Take this off. It's actually going to keep cooking a little bit while it's still there because all the sauce is nice and hot.
Yeah.
So we can leave that. That's going to be hot for a nice long while. And this is where we chop the chives. Alright, check it out. So as I said, like the motion is don't lift tip of the blade off the blade.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? And all you want to do...
Gotta focus on.
Check it out. So all you want to do is this. The knife is nice and sharp, so it's easy. Let the blade do the work. Don't press, don't flex your like. You have a lot of muscle.
Oh my god, it's hard not to.
You have a lot of muscle. I know you tempted to, but like literally, the blade does all the work. Okay, like it's heavy enough where you can just look. I'm not pressing down. It's just the weight of the blade is doing all of it.
Okay, so how fine do I want this?
About this.
That fine? Okay.
That's fine. All right. So just that's it. Just that.
All right.
Go for it.
I gotta come from the other way though, being lefty.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's a hard part. So.
There you go.
Whoa, that's weird because I'm going the opposite direction as you. Yep. My technique is subpar. If I can do it, anyone can. I will try not to lose a finger.
That's enough, man. That's good. That's plenty.
Alright.
That's it. And that's, you can go finer, but this is good. This is perfect. This is all you really need.
A little bit of green to make.
You need the color. You need a
yeah.
splash of color to make it look fancy.
Yeah, it's really not fine at all.
That's good. Get your bowls. Get your mac and cheese. And just spoon it right into the bowl. If you're Eric, you want to have nice, good, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know. Once you have your pasta, rice, whatever you eat risotto in the bowl, take your chopped chives and just sprinkle them over the top. Just to give it a little bit of pop of color. It's gonna make it look extra fancy. And you're done. As I said, I call this Boozy mac and cheese for adults, but for a date you can call this the risotto style Capaletti with crab meat.
Snow crab meat.
Snow crab meat. Risotto style Capaletti with snow crab.
Please like and share this video, and follow us on social media, and check out datenightcook.com for more cool stuff. That's delicious.
So good.